Kia ora everyone, back again here for some more LEGO Jurassic Park sets, now headed into the second movie in the Silly But Fun World series. This here is set 75929, the Carnotaurus Gyrosphere Escape. A mouthful for the younger builders. 577 pieces in total with this set, 3 minifigures, and apparently 2 of them are unique to only the set. This released in 2018 to tie in with the release of Jurassic World 2 Fallen Kingdom. The original retail price there for this was $80 USD before tax. Here in NZ this cost 150 NZD, pretty high up there for its prices. Currently in the aftermarket space you're looking at about the same price actually, $150 sealed, or a more fitting $110 in second-hand condition. And the set overview here is a fun escape sequence from a Carnotaurus, one of the cooler looking dinos for me personally. And alongside this beast we also have a gyrosphere inclusion, a fun build of a dilapidated deployment station, and a big truck. There's a lot to satisfy any builder here, and as I have already hinted at before, this series is going to only be focusing on my favorites. I have actually already looked at a LEGO Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom set on this channel before, the Lockwood Estate, which I would also consider to be one of my favorites from this theme, but since that set has already been covered here, let's take a look at one of the first ever LEGO Jurassic World sets that I personally bought for my collection. I haven't seen the movie in a good couple of years now, but it looks like the set is based on the general scene that we have here. We've got our 3 characters hiding with a gyrosphere as the island just falls into chaos, and they even encounter a Carnotaurus here. The set retired in December of 2019, but as most of us are aware, the world hit a little bit of a pause around January of 2020. That is to say that I managed to find this post-COVID from our retailers once everything opened back up again. They just had to clearance everything around April-May-ish that was leftover stock from 2019. So I'm pretty sure I managed to get this for less than 100 NZD, which I felt pretty good about at that time. We'll take a look at this truck and station first, which is actually the first thing that you build. The LEGO Jurassic line is known for 3 things to me: the dinos, laboratory builds, and massive oversized vehicles. Now in the past I've happily criticized the LEGO Marvel line when it comes to their oversized vehicles, but I actually for the most part like these big rig massive Jurassic vehicles. I think it's because these are seen as going up against dinos, so the scale kind of works in comparison. The human characters are going to need everything they can in order to fight back. We get a few separate sections here. Actually, this vehicle manages to break down into 3 sections, which can then break down into a further 5 sections if you include the removable gyrosphere. I think the truck's main design is pretty cool for that top section there, but I do have to say I don't like the underside where the wheels are. It's very empty there, and it looks a little awkward or unfinished to me. I like everything else about the truck though, that's the problem. And I mentioned before that the scale works in comparison to the dinos. The scale to the minifigs though is a different story. It's a bit extreme when it comes to this set. The minifigures can't even reach the door to enter the vehicle, and LEGO don't include like a footrail build or anything either. And now this is very simple, but the way they build the front headlights there, very satisfying to do. And the doors do open. LEGO were still doing that back in 2018. The inside here features nothing too major, just a steering wheel. There's a hole in the roof there which they include as a way for a minifigure to perform drive-bys tranquilizing dinos. There's also a stud shooter there as you can see. Now the set here describes this as a mobile control center. This is kind of like the laboratory element that I was mentioning earlier that's pretty iconic for the identity of Jurassic. We've got some really cool stickers here of the Jurassic logo on the sides there, and I do really like the military-esque designs that these vehicles go for in this series. The entire roof and wall section is removable, and inside you have a very underwhelming lab section, which contains a control panel, a switch that's randomly been placed on a set of drawers. Inside you have a syringe colored in blue and some dino bones. It's not the most thought out inclusion there, and it just kind of feels tacked on. A very easy placement there, and this connects onto the truck through use of some Technic pegs, and it gives you a complete feeling for that vehicle. Then lastly, you've got this trailer here which acts as a storage space for the gyrosphere. It's interesting to me because we do also have the deployment station coming up next. One could assume that for play, maybe you're supposed to load the gyrosphere onto the trailer in order to escape altogether, because I think a brief problem they have there in the movie from memory is the fact that once they're in the gyrosphere, they can't get out of it. It's a very simple but effective trailer build there. We've got some stickers of danger arrows and some crates at the back which contain an egg in one compartment and some bones in the other. We also have a switch there at the back, and pushing it will release the gyrosphere. It sends the little hamster ball flying as you would expect. Another simple but effective feature, very fun to play around with, and not the only pushing function in the set. Attaching the trailer to the truck is achievable like so, and the overall display piece looks pretty good altogether. My only issue with this build here being the eyesore of the body, but it's still a nice addition to a set that has plenty more on offer. Now the deployment station, it's great. The set here was released before the Jurassic World set that I looked at just recently. This build is a different style for a deployment station. You've got some overgrown details all over the place that makes it feel like an apocalyptic build to me, and because of the themes of the adventure genre, I felt like I was building something from, say, the LEGO Adventures line or Uncharted or Tomb Raider, just something that I miss from the modern LEGO sets. I've always loved the adventure action-based sets, and it's taller than I thought it would be too, with a play feature of falling lava to help crisp up your dinos on the island. There's nothing to really rave about for the back of the set though, but that's okay. You won't have this displayed backwards anyway. The front section here features all of the main key details. You've got lots of plant life pieces there, even a little raptor, this mold I believe being introduced in this wave of sets. We have the Gyrosphere stickered sign here, which I mentioned in my last video. These two sets here share the same designs, except this one features dino scratches all over it. Really cool consistency between those releases. The side detail here shows a nest with some dino eggs, more plant pieces, like this really old dated styled plant here from like the 90s, but this was a brand new mold for that piece. And then you've got this blue railing system. I think it might represent the Gyrosphere tracks, but of course here they're all run down and destroyed. And then here we have the actual deployment station, which features some of those stickers down below. The roof is built on hinge pieces and out of minifigure display stands. You can see the launcher down there. It's able to shoot the Gyrosphere out just like we saw on the trailer. Before getting to that, I want to quickly take a look at the lava function. I love the way this little space here has been built behind more plant life, which hides those lava bricks. A really fun design for that set. The back has a lever, and once you pull it, a trapdoor will release those bricks. They do go everywhere, especially in a filming space like what I've got going on. 5 translucent reddish orange bricks, seemingly new at the time, only appearing in one set before this one. They were then used throughout some of LEGO's original themes. As I always say, it's these fun simple features like this that work the best. You can see the trapdoor also has some extra elements to help emphasize the lava. As for the Gyrosphere feature, you can imagine how this here works. You press on that launcher and you send the sphere flying. And playing around with these Gyrospheres has been great. It's probably one of my favorite toy inclusions for this line, not including the dinos. We covered this already in a previous video, but the Gyrosphere is actually showcasing a different design here with the printed decals. You can see cracks in the glass there and some stained colors to help show age and damage. You remove these discs here, which allow you to open that sphere up, and inside we have our figure on his seat. Connected by the Technic pegs, this figure will always stay upright when rolling around. A very quick comparison between the pods there, you can see the very clear difference in the printed disc and the colors and the damage. Now that I've got two of them, I could make them fight one another or just have fun watching them rolling around. The dinosaur for this set, besides that tiny raptor, is the Carnotaurus. This type of dinosaur here was used as the main antagonist in the 2000s movie Dinosaur, for anyone that remembers that one. A really great ride at Animal Kingdom. Now the Carnotaurus here is similar to the T-Rex molds, but with the added horns on their head. A very cool mold, and I believe this was the first set to introduce a modern Carnotaurus mold. Very awesome toy that moves all the same as other Jurassic dinos. This here is a quick scale comparison to the T-Rex from the dino line from 2011. You can see the similarities between the two really. The heads help to show more obvious differences. The hands are both small but feature some unique designs between the two. I believe the arms for the Carni here might be used for other modern dinos today. Another big fun dinosaur to help fight against my other ones. We then move on to the minifigures of the set. The set here contains 3 in total, 2 of them being exclusive here, but all 3 are characters that would be released in other sets. And first up here is Owen Grady, another Chris Pratt inclusion, but this time appearing in an exclusive torso print. I actually do like that torso print of a torn shirt. I think while on the island though, he's seen wearing his jacket, but most of these sets would release him with that jacket, so we really didn't need to get another one here. I'll take the new torso as the win. These sets here were a big deal to me at the time because this was the first time that Chris Pratt had a face print that looked like him, which has now been reused in, according to Brickset, 28 sets in total, and that face print has only ever been used for Chris Pratt, by the way. So if we're taking into account the sets that don't include that face print and all of the Emmets from the Lego movie, Chris Pratt has seen well over 40 sets using his minifigures. We have a double-sided expression there as well. It's that angry, determined look that he does on all of the posters. It's your staple kind of Pratt. Then this here is Claire Daring. This redesign was used in 6 sets in total, including the Netflix-based releases. Quite a few reused parts began coming from this wave specifically, because Claire would also have this face print for the foreseeable future. I like the printing of that green jacket there, and she features a double-sided expression of a terrified look, which is a fitting expression for just about anyone in the LEGO Jurassic line actually. Then lastly here we have Franklin Webb, who is the other exclusive minifigure, though he would be remade for a Dominion movie set some years later. Franklin here is played by Justice Smith. It's pretty cool to have him as a minifigure because he would go on to do some really weird things like Detective Pikachu, The Quarry, The Voyeurs, I Saw the TV Glow, Dungeons and Dragons. A very unique and interesting filmography there. I always like getting different flesh tones in LEGO minifig form, and he does feature a double-sided expression of a terrified look. The parts that make him exclusive here are the face prints and the useful casual torso. The instructions for the set here provided as 2 booklets, the first building the truck with no real theming on the inside, and it ends with the winning man. The next booklet here builds the abandoned station, with the back of the manual showing us the set all complete and some of the functions. We then also have the inventory list and an ad for the Ninjago spinners. It's not very common that LEGO advertise unrelated themes in sets like this, but it happens sometimes. And then we have this page of Jurassic based imagery. This wave here featured some okay builds. I personally have 3 of these sets now, with the Lockwood Estate and the Stygimoloch pen down below. I found the other 2 sets to be very skippable. And then this page here shows the dinos in each set, and then there's some instructions down below about making your own monster by mixing and matching some pieces. The next page here shows something that LEGO called LEGO Life, and I have no memory of whatever this is. Overall, I really like that set. The truck there is the weakest inclusion, since many of the Jurassic sets released with vehicle-based inclusions, but the station and dino help to elevate that set higher than others released within this line. This is a parks-based set, which I am a sucker for, and it gives me the adventure aesthetic that I've been craving from LEGO to return to. It also feels rather unique in its rundown design, and it's quite colourful compared to some other Jurassic sets that we would see in the future. Yeah, this is a good one. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO Jurassic based set, liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Ka kite anō, take care, see you next time.